webinars, particularly for students, is to best utilize the time in order to enhance our knowledge during this COVID-19 phase. It is an opportunity for all of us to upgrade ourselves by attending such knowledgeable webinars. First, I would like to thank Dr. Handa sir, who accepted our request to share his experiences with us in this field of document examination. Thank you, sir. On this occasion, I would like to thank Dr. Rupinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, for his constant support and valuable guidance. Today's webinar topic is on forensic document examination, which is one of the most case generating areas in forensic science. In today's digital world, paper documents have still maintained their importance. According to Indian Evidence Act and Indian Penal Code, a document may be anything which can be used to convey a message or from which any information can be obtained. A paper document may contain printed matter, handwriting, signature, watermark, seal, etc. Paper documents are frequently used in official as well as unofficial activities, even for property and financial records. Therefore, it is prone to forgery. A forgery may be of any kind, like an alteration in any part of handwriting, forgery of signature, watermark, seal, letterhead, etc., or removal of any part in the document. This webinar will cover almost all areas from forensic document examination, like examination of handwriting and signatures, detection of forgery, ink and paper examination, detection and deciphering of erased and obliterated writing, charge document examination, currency note examination, etc. Now, I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Handa sir. Sir is having more than 36 years of experience in the field of document examination. He has examined more than 4 lakh case exhibits pertaining criminal, civil, and course cases. Also has tendered evidence in more than 1500 courts across India without being disbelieved even in a single incident. Sir has written over 50 research papers at both national and international levels, trained more than 10,000 personnels from various fields like judiciary, CBI, police departments, NIA, BSF, armed forces, vigilance, officers from banks and other PSUs, and MSc students across India. Sir is recipient of more than 3 dozen appreciation from various agencies like CBI, Delhi Police, Directorate of Forensic Sciences and Services, etc. Served as chairman, member of various committees and boards also. I am sure today's webinar will be helpful to understand examination of question document. Now I request Handa sir to deliver his lecture.
Thank you, Dr. Kavita, giving me opportunity in this auspicious occasion with sharing across the world my views and my experience. Basically, as it is told that I am a document expert. I worked in Central Forensic Science Laboratory, which housed. I'm lucky that I worked in Central Forensic Science Laboratory, which is administrative controlled by CBI and overall controlled by the MHA. So my bread and butter starts with the MHA. All my promotions and all the things were carried out by my government, which is called Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. Friends, I was lucky that I worked in CFSL, which housed all the branches of the forensic science. This was the only laboratory in 1982, 83, 85, 89, up to 90, that housed only all the branches under one roof, which is called Central Forensic Science Laboratory. We can examine fire, we can examine wire, we can examine paint, we can examine wires. So many examination branches over there. DNA examination is also there. Photography examination is also there in my laboratory, where I got retired December 2018. Document was also one of the part of my branches in the Central Forensic Science Laboratory, although it is very small piece which is called documents, friends. But my mentors who was happened to be CBI, they are having 6 major zones. Friends, you will surprise to hear it. About 80% of the total cases which we receive for forensic examination that pertains to documents. 80% of the total cases. It is too high. That is why I had my extension centers in Mumbai and Chennai, and we were shortly opening in Calcutta. I don't know. I think it hasn't opened yet. It is a very small topic which is called documents. It is a very small topic which is called document, but having a huge definition, friends. Because of the reason that any country and every country which grow with the growth of 6% and more, any country and every country. Luckily, we were also going with the same growth rate, leave this few patch of COVID. We are bound to have white collar crime. It may be in the part of electronic or cyber crime, or it is in the part of a hard copies that is in the documents. So next 20 years, I think that we are in the elevation of these types of crimes, and we should be well equipped to counter these types of crimes. Very small topic, as I told, documents. But you know what is documents, friends? Document doesn't mean that you require a paper and pencil to write on the surface of a paper. It is one of the things. It doesn't mean that you require only always. A painting is also a document. You're surprised to hear it, friends. A painting, a picture is also a document. A mathematical science is also a document. Something written on a wall is also a document. A clock hanging on wall is also a document. So it's a huge definition of a document, which is described as Madam told under Section 29 of IPC, and Section 3 of Indian Evidence Act also states like that. Friends, I remember a case that was way back in 1983-84. That population of Delhi was only 30-40 lakhs. It was thinly populated. Now it is full of 2.5, I think, crores. A lady was raped and murdered in the outskirts of Kanjhawala area of Delhi. That was in the outskirts of Delhi. She don't have anything to write, but she wrote because she know that criminal on a piece of hair with her finger that Surendra Kumar was involved in this crime. So that piece of earth wherein this message was written was declared as a document. You're surprised to hear it. That piece of earth, we click the photograph, we match the photograph, writing of the deceased handwriting, admitted writing, and connected the crime. So it is basically a huge definition of a document. So once you are talking of a document, we used to talk of the handwriting because these are the basic topics, the challenges also. What is handwriting? Friends, you'll surprised to hear it. Once we are attracting, I attracted so many people like that of judiciaries. The people are definitely bound to have arrogance. So once I'm taking that, what is handwriting? So one madam in the judiciary says, Madam, Mr. Handa, is this a topic to be discussed? Anything is written with a hand is called handwriting. And handwriting is changed with the change of a mood. Once you are having good mood, your writing is good. Once you are having a bad mood, your writing is good. Once you are sober, your writing is sober. No, it is not like that, man. First of all, it is not our handwriting, friends. It is not our HAND, handwriting. It is our head writing, HEAD. It is our head writing. See, brain gives you a command to hand to write, then hand writes. I put it like that. Once you are sleeping, we cannot write because your brain is on a rest position. We cannot write once you are sleeping. Only we can write once you are awakened and having a brain coordinated with hand. So brain is called our neuro. Brain is called neuro, and hand is called muscular because it is full of muscles. It is having muscles. So basically, the definition of a handwriting to a handwriting expert says that it is a neuromuscular coordination. I'm not philosophy I'm discussing. I'm just telling you the reason why I said so. I'll tell you. It is a neuromuscular coordination, friends. Till we are having our neuromuscular coordination perfect, till we attain our writing, while seeing our sisters writing, teachers writing, brothers writing, at the age of 12, 13, 14, we made our writing and remain this area, which is called documents. It remains same. After, say, attaining the age to a 90, or you get your age till our death, the writing never changes. The writing only changes, friends, once we are having a deformation in our hand, or defect in our hand, or in brain. It may be permanent or it may be temporary. Permanent means if a person is suffering with Parkinson, or a person is suffering with acute depression, if he is not succumbing and coming back out of depression. And there is a temporary depression, and there is a temporary brain change like that of a person under alcohol. So writing only changes once a person is having a deformation, either in hand or a defect in the brain. Otherwise, there is no change in the writing, friends. It is so accurate, friends. It is so accurate that across 7 billion population, there is no person, two persons are there which they are having the similar type of writings because their brains are different. That is why I said that it is our handwriting, it is our head writing, it is our brain writing. Because
Handa sir, I request you to please share the screen, sir.
I'll share my screen also. I'm not
No,
sharing.
no, sir, your screen is not visible.
Now it is okay.
No.
You are not getting my screen.
Yes, sir. Now
So
we
now
are
it's
getting.
visible.
आ गया?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Shall I move?
Yes, sir.
So, friends, I said that across 7 billion population across the world, because their brains are different, their writings are different. Their brains are different, their writings are different. It is so accurate, friends. As it was told to me by some DNA experts, that even in the rare cases, the DNA of the twins can match, but their writing can't because their brain is different. So this is the basic principle, friends. This is the basic principle wherein we say that the writing of two individuals are different. Means one person cannot write two types of writings and two-person cannot write similar type of writings. And third law is very dangerous, friends. Third law, you keep on executing millions of your signature across life. You keep on writing hundreds or billions or millions of your signature across life. No two your signature across that billion or millions of your signature will match with each other. If they are matching, they are forged. Because of the simple reason, friends, my hand is not a machine. Human hand is not a machine. Once it is not a machine, cannot produce replica. Friends, we know the typewriter. If we press C, it will come as a C. It will print as C. Again, we put C, print C, it will come as C. And that C's will match with each other because it has been mechanically generated. But if we write with our hand, C, many times, there will be a variation because this hand is not a machine. And only this law, which is applicable only with the handwriting science. I'll surprise to hear it, friends. I'll take it some deviation because it relates with our handwriting science. Suppose there is a scene of crime and you find some fingerprint. That fingerprint matches with my fingerprint. It means I am the person who was involved at the scene of crime. I was present there. If my hair found in the scene of crime matches with my hair, it means I am the person who was involved or I was present in the scene of crime. If my blood matches with the blood at the scene of crime, it means I am the person who was involved. If I fire from my gun and the cap matches with the control sample which is filed by the investigation agencies, it means this gun is used for scene of crime, hitting the target. Means if bullet matches with the bullet, person is involved. Blood matches with the blood, person is involved. Hair matches with the hair, person is involved. Fingerprint matches the fingerprint, person is involved. But if your two signature matches with each other, they are forged. So this is a difference. That is why we are saying that we are reversed from the other branches of the forensic science. We, the GQDs, government examiner question documents, or the document experts. So friends, only on this principle, I feel proud and relaxed that we are giving report on the photocopies. And the days are very near that there is no original document. There will be a soft copies always, or maximum time will be present to give opinion on the photocopies. We will share this in the later stage. But what sort of examination we are carrying out, I'll tell you. First of all, friends, we are examining the handwriting signatures. Means you are having two signatures. One is called disputed and other is called specimen. What is disputed signature? The disputed signatures are those where the authenticity of that signature is under dispute. You may call it question signature, you may call it disputed signature. And for that, because forensic science is a science of a comparison, you require the specimens for comparison, you require the admitters for comparison. You can examine it and send that whether it is matching or otherwise. This is called the examination of handwriting and signatures. We are using some parameters. We are using some individual writing characteristics, and we are using some general writing characteristics. If both are matches with the question and the specimen, say that yes, writer is one of the same person. And we are applying the principles like Simon Newcomb principle and other principles to give opinion. Then detection of forgery. What do you mean by detection of forgery, students? Detection of forgery means if there is a check of say 5,000 rupees, there may be a check of anything. You put zero to make it 50,000. At the unit place, you put zero to make it 50,000. So we can easily distinguish whether this check is of a 50,000 or which is made to a 50,000. So that is called detection of forgery. Friends, I remember a case a few years back. It was sent by the local police. There was an agreement between the two parties, the seller and the purchaser of a property of Safdarjung enclave area. That is the actual case, friends. That is why I'm discussing and telling you the area's name. Because the rates in the South Delhi is too high, very high. It is as even as it, even more than that of a New York. So the first party who was happened to be a seller, he took a loan on this property of the tune of 1 crore rupees from the State Bank of India. So there was an agreement between first party and second party that first party, who was happened to be a seller, it was written in the agreement, the first party will bear all the prior expenses. Means the loan will be bear by the first party. But once the file went to the second party, I don't know who did it, but the person, there was a one, means a vertical stroke was written one, first one and ST. Somebody removed from the physically ST and put another stroke called another stroke to make it second. So entire burden goes to the second party. Now the crux of the agreement was, it was first party, it was removed ST and add one stroke to make it second party. So the entire burden goes to the second party now. See, by putting only one stroke, the huge amount was transferred from first party to another. So a lot of money is there in the French, in the white collar crime. So this is called the detection of forgery. Then decipherment of erased writing. This is also one has to carry out. One as a document expert has to carry out the examination of erased writings or obliterated writings. Suppose the writing is erased. Now everything is washed, nothing is there. But we have the lights, we have the different types of lights and different type of optical conditions. We can find out what was written originally, like UV light, IR light, the different sources of other lights, the different filtration of IR lights we are having. We are also using some dyes and chemicals to decipher the erased writings also nowadays. The obliterated writing is also deciphered by the help of IR lights. If there is a carbon or iron particles, we are having a limitation. But if the ink of obliterated portion doesn't have the carbon particle and the downward ink, which was written with the carbon or iron particle, we can easily decipher with the help of IR lights. So this is basically a thing which has to be examined by the government expert or the private expert. Then the reconstruction of chart documents, friends. This is also the issue which is carried out by the document expert. What do you mean by chart documents? Chart documents are generally called as the burnt document, but friends, it is not the burnt document. It is a semi-burnt document, which is called the smoke documents. And it is further classified in 4 forms. Once the document is burned up to 90 degrees centigrade, and then 150, then 270 and above. If a document is burned to 90 degrees centigrade, you can easily decipher. We can put some chemical called polyvinyl acrylate and see under the light, IR lights, we get the results. If a document is burned up to 150 degrees centigrade, again the same method is applied. If a document is burned up to 200 centigrade, 270 degrees, it is too high degree temperature. It is, see, sponge iron starts melting at 270 degrees. So it is a too high temperature. Even the document is burnt into light to the temperature of extent of near 300 degree, 270 degree. We can gently produce this polyvinyl acrylate, 3% solution of polyvinyl acrylate. If we don't have that solution, even we can use any glue material with 2 to 3% concentration, not more than that, and sprinkle the document. The document will settle, and we can laminate the document and read under the light, which is called IR light. Friends, I cannot put the detail of that. If you go and check through internet, there was a case in Delhi that was called some espionage case, in which the agencies got the call that some espionage activities are taking place in there. We was open the house, break opening the house. There was our Air Force maps, which they have to supply to Pakistan. It was way back in 1987. We reconstructed the documents. These were the chart documents. They burnt the documents. Suppose the document is burnt, so no evidence is there. So we segregated the documents and produced in the court of law. The people are still behind the bar. Then again, the development of indented writing is also carried out by the document experts. The document experts, yes, open it. What do you mean by indentation, friends? Indentation means if there is some paper which is not, which is basically a plain document, a paper which is basically a plain document but are having some indentation strokes, which can be examined with the help of by putting some carbon, erasing with the carbon, rubbing with the carbon, or with the help of a machine which is called electrostatic detection apparatus. We place the document on that, and we apply by polymer fixing the polymer sheet. We apply a heavy voltage of current of the tune of 8.8 volt, 8.8 kilowatt, and just hold on, just hold on. 8.8 kilowatt, and we got the result because of potential differences there in the. Now you can see myself because I got a call that we have to use it.
Yes, sir. Now visible.
Now it is okay.
Okay, sir.
Now it is okay.
Thank you.
So that we are talking of that indented examined with two methods. One is a crude method by rubbing with the carbon, and another is a
हाँ बेटा हाँ नेटवर्क
difference, as you people are aware of that, because it involves physics.
हो गया शुरू
We involve physics, and we got the result on that. Then we are having a conventional examination of conventional typewriter, computer printout. Friends, you're surprised to hear it, as we are dealing with the conventional typewriters. Till 1996, the opinion on a conventional typewriter was not believed by the court of law. It was not admitted in the court of law. There was a case which is called second murder case. That was a landmark case which was carried out for examination by my lab. I was basically instrumental for examination of this also. The Constitution bench was given a landmark judgment of Supreme Court, given a landmark judgment saying that yes, from now, the opinion of a handwriting expert on the conventional typewriter is admissible in the court of law. And that person got 10 years RI. If you go and check through internet, the second murder case. Then we are having, friends, examination of ink and paper. This is also one of the topic wherein we can help the administration agencies to find out the extract whether the inks are different or whether the inks are same. Friends, while talking of the ink examination and paper examination, prior to talking of this, I'll definitely share with you that these are basically the issues. These are basically the questions where we people are lagging behind. We cannot say, because this is basically the issue, burning issue to every government expert, we cannot say exactly the age of a document or age of a ink. This is a limitation to a document expert. This is basically a challenge for a document expert, whether it's sitting in Delhi or sitting in US or any place else. They cannot say this, yes, this document is executed in 15 August or 26 January. But definitely we can solve the cases. Similarly, you cannot say this, the paper belongs to this age, but definitely you can solve the cases. So we'll put on discussion on that. Since once you are an expert, you should have knowledge of when did the ball pen came in existence, when did this fountain pen came in existence, then your pilot pen came in existence, then your gel pen, fluorescent pen, thermal inks, and gelatin icings. Now this your electronic inks are there. So while back calculating, you get the results and say this whether the document is genuine. I'll give you an example of how we are solving this case. It is not that we are not solving the cases, even we don't know the exactly age of thing. See, friends, this was a case which was referred by Honorable High Court of Jodhpur to CBI, wherein somebody put a litigation at the court saying that the property which I'm considering the name of the person, the property which is given, which is I think that Mr. Rathore is not having his property. It has been grabbed from the. It is basically government property which is grabbed by him. So the issue, because of the central nature, the case was referred to CBI for examination. So when DSP of the CBI was taking in charge of this case, he took this document wherein it was written that Khazra number this, Khazra number this, Khazra number this is given to Mr. R.S. Rathore. It happens to be acres of lands without worth of say millions of rupees. So once I took this document for examination, I said, "Yeah, tera case solved." Just only seeing the document, I put the document across the sun and saw that this is a watermark in the paper, which is happened to be a Forex company watermark. Since the document is of 1968, and friends, you are surprised to hear it that there was no record that who was the district collector at the time, because it was signed by district collector in 1968, as it was told to by the IU to me. So we don't have anything, but we have to see only the paper examination or ink examination. But once I saw the paper examination, I carried out the examination by putting against the sunlight. There was a watermark called Corex. So I said, I never heard the name of Corex. How come it can be happened that it was there in 1968? So once I checked through internet, I found that this Corex company came in existence in 1937. So it is possible that if a company exists in 1937, you can put the paper of 1968. But it is the other way around. If the company is 1937, you cannot take a paper of 1936 from the Corex. So we are failed. We are failed in this. I checked the paper, quality of paper. It was oxidized. It was yellowish because of the passage of time. Once I turned the corner of the paper, it was torn because at that time bamboo paper was used. No fillers were used at that time. So all are going towards that. This document is genuine. But the government says that no transaction by the government, central government, is given to anybody. No land is given to anybody. So it was a challenge to the expert. So, friends, while sleeping in the night, I had an intuition to check the ink, which is having a sign by somebody has signed with the ink on paper. So once I check the signature, the ink carried out for examination, which is of the signature of a district collector. So I found that the ink wherein the execution of signature was made by DC collector was a pilot pen ink. So my friends, I was rest assured that pilot pen came in existence in 1982. So how come a company, which is of Japan, came in existence across the world in 1982, and it was marketed in India in 1983? Even it was received first, the first market pen which is manufactured by Pilot came in India right in 1982, but it is not possible to have signature in 1968. So I said into my liners, I gave my report that this document is a full document because the signature of a district collector is with the pilot pen ink, and the pilot pen came in existence in 1980. So, friends, this is basically a challenge to we people that we are not even classifying the inks. We should have in my mind that which ink came in which type, which year, so that without classification, we cannot go and examine the inks and papers. And definitely, next ink is their metal complexities. Then examination of paper is also carried out by the people as It is the prime duty for examination of these friends. Friends, you will be surprised to hear that there is over 800 paper mills, 700 paper mills in India. 700 paper mills are recycling the papers. There is only 100 paper mills which are making the actual paper from bamboo and bead straw and raw straws. And you will be surprised to hear, friends, there is only one paper mill, that is Hoshangabad Paper and Pulp Limited, which make our consumer papers up to 2014. And they make only 12 because I was happened to be nodal also with the government of India for this currency notes. That make only 12.8% of the total consumption of our papers. The rest of the papers, we are buying from other countries, friends. I'll come out with the presentation and we'll discuss this paper first, because while finishing it, then we'll come out with the presentation. Friends, Pakistan was also buying from them, the Western European countries. We are buying ink from the SIPCA, Pakistan is also buying from them. And they are making our currency notes. And the exchange rate was 47 rupees, 7 rupees, it was huge. I believe the politics. The government of India has banned this currency notes, which is around 60 to 70,000 crores of rupees, of 1,500 currency notes. And after that, I rest assure you, friends, as a document expert, as a currency note expert, that even in the 2000 currency notes, we are having a very good security features. Nobody can dream it to copy it, friends. Till 5 years has been passed out, I think more than 5 years. Not even a single good quality of currency note was made by Iqbal Khan. So we'll discuss it. Definitely, this is my topic of discussion. If we left with the time, I'll share some presentation with you people, because all this presentation with me are basically the documents which was sent by the courts or otherwise agencies. This on your screen is a case, friends. This was earlier referred to a local FSL, which say that they don't have the technology to ascertain that this check is basically of 6,49,000 rupees, or which was made to 6,49,000 rupees. Friends, if you see the check, the person who has presented this check, who has given this check, he says that I have given a check of the tune of 49,500 rupees. But the check got clear, the tune of 6,49,000 rupees. But the dispute was that whether this 6 was additionally added, and the 6 lakhs was additionally added. And once we are discussing it with the other forensic experts, he says that Mr. Handa, it is very clear, because when you see the printed matter, the got 6 lakhs for the printed matter. So I said that there is a RBH guidelines, you cannot deprive him to write over the printed matter. So once our theory is fair. Friends, luckily, see, as I told you that forensic science is the science of a comparison. There is a few parameters for comparison. 6 is written by date 26. 6 is written over the date, and 6 can be matched with that 6 which is written with the 6 lakhs. And there are certain parameters also. You can see S is written VS courier, and S, there was a dispute with 6 lakhs. S is written over the rupees. So S can be compared with the S. I'm not getting, you're not getting my voice?
Sir, voice is breaking. Audible is, means the audio is not clear, sir.
Audio is not clear. Let me take a few seconds, sir. Let me take a few seconds. Now it is clear?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Is it clear now? Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Now voice is clear.
Voice is clear. So, friends, shall I start? The note 6 can be compared. 6 was there in the digits on the date, and 6 was there, which was a dispute one. That was 6 lakhs. So 6 can be compared with the 6, and S can be compared. S is written with the S 4 years. There are so many places where the S is written. Similarly, there are 3, 4, 5 parameters where we can see whether these are matching with each other. It means they are same. Friends, here I'll tell you, there is no video recorder, there is no spectrometer, there is no any instrument across the world which can give the result on that. It is only the application of mind. which gives the result. Here I made my instrument on their own. We used some filters. While putting the filters on the microscopes and putting the light across it, we got the result. I'll show you the results. Can you see the yes, please. Can you see the S and S written on the left and right side? Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference between I, which is written, and I written on the left side?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, friends,
Yes.
there is a difference between 6 and 6, and A is also having a difference. So,
Yes.
by making and producing these documents to the Honorable Court, Court has no option but to say that yes, it was subsequently added. Previously, the check was 6 lakhs, 39,000, which was made to 6 lakhs, because there is a difference of numerals, there is a difference of the pigments of the inks of the text. This paper I presented in the conference, in Forensic Science Conference, National Conference, in 2015. Actually, this paper got the best paper award, and Mr. Kiran Rajiv was happened to be our home minister at that time. He stopped for a moment and appreciated this paper. Friends, once you are talking of a forgery, friends, once we are talking of forgery, I'll show you the case. And this case I definitely show many times. This was again a case of a property of a GK in Delhi, the property of huge high rates in South Delhi. I was called by the court to see this document that runs into 3 signatures. There's an agreement to sell. Ramesh was seen declining that this is not by signatures. Once I see Q2, Q1, and Q3, there was a third signature also. So I give opinion. I give informal opinion in the court. Ma'am, he's telling lie. Ma'am, she was happened to be a judge. Ma'am, he is lying. It is basically his signature. He sold the property. But that fellow who was happened to be the owner of this property called Ramesh Pasin, he was declining. He was saying that this is not by signature. Where do I live? And where I don't know who has carried out my signature. It appears to be my signature, but I have not sold my property yet. Friends, once I examined the documents Q1, Q2, while at my instrument in my laboratory, you see the Q1 and Q2 on the right side with the orange. They superimpose over each other. So I changed my opinion. Previously, I said that these signatures are genuine, which was informal saying to the court. And I put my 2 liners. Yes, these signatures are superimposing over each other. As no 2-year signature across life can superimpose over each other, hence they are forged. So these are the cases which we are receiving in the court of law. Again, I'll show you a case, friends, of a freehand forgery. Can you see this case, friends? On the left side of your monitor, is a signature with the red pen, and there are 3 specimens. If you please check these 3 specimens for a second, you find lot of variations even in 3 specimens. So these type of cases which we receive, and even these 3 signatures, which you see lot of difference or variations. I used to say that variation, not difference, but there are some common things. There is no pen left in all the 3 signatures. The start of letter A, the left oblique stroke, or the initial start of letter A, is very high in all the 3 signatures, which is not there in the red signature, which is a disputed signature. And in disputed signatures, friends, you see there are so many pen lifts. Now, generally, we used to lift 1 or twice in pen. It is good never to use the lift pen. And these type of cases wherein only while saying 1 letter or 2 letter, we say that yes, this signature is not a genuine signature, and because of the pen lifts and the slow marking, and there is a deviation in the stroke of right body of letter A. So these types of cases called the practice forgery, wherein we give opinion. I'll show you, friends, the case where I said that we are examining the obliterated writings. I blackened this specimen from the corporation back check. Nobody can read what is written on the blackened portion. No human eye can catch what was written below the blackened portion. But by applying a simple light, which is called the IR light, infrared light, we got the result. Can you see the portion wherein this Lodi complex written in the English is very clear? The document will remain like this, friends. By just applying this slide, you get the results. And if you show these results in the court of law, nobody can say, yes, there's a deviation, there's any argument. Because friends, I say that because of my experience of 37, 38 years, that 80% of the test of the forensic experts lie in the court of law. You are grilled hard because I tender my opinion in almost all the districts of India. So these type of cases wherein you get the results, nobody has a second opinion saying that this is a difference of opinion against the two experts. Third case for additional and arbitration, as we were discussing. This was a simple case of a 3 lines, friends. Although this is under trial, so I hide few things. The person who received a Maruti 800, he said that he has given all the amount of 80,000 rupees. But the person who received the amount said, no, it was only 8,000 advance which is given against the old car, which is called Maruti. So the dispute on the 3 lines receipt was basically whether this receipt of 80,000 or 8,000. Once I examined this under the UV light, friends, you see in the bottom, this receipt, the 0 on the unit place is vanished, and the Y is also not visible. So basically, the crux of the receipt was that the receipt was originally of 8,000, which was made to 80,000. So these type of photography, if you see in the court of law, sent in the court of law, court has no option to accept the report. There is basically question of it. I'll show you the example of Handa, friends. This is machine which is called Handa that detect the indentation strokes. I examined this. This lady was missing basically, and we are having a piece of a paper which was found someplace somewhere else. So once I examined this red portion under the machine, it was basically a name of a French lady which was written test that can be deciphered with the help of this machine which is called Handa. Only thing is that we have to take precaution because of huge temperature or huge current we are supplying. So this is endless, friends, and I'll definitely show you the work which we are carrying out. Apart from that, we are examining currency notes. We don't have much time to detailed discussion of the currency note. And passport examination is also carried out by we people. And I love to give a demonstration of the different types of passport. 100 countries passport lies in my gray area, which is called point. And the friends which I used to share with my friends sitting in BSF and Army, because these are the basic issues with them, and how to check the secret writings, how to check pass the secret writing messages. This is also my loving area, which expert I used to send this demonstration to my friends in intelligence and other places. This is piece of a paper, friends. That was under this fellow when he was caught at IG airport. I changed the crux basically. He was carrying the bag and having few letters, and this is one of the letters. If you go through this letter, can you find that there's some anti-India strokes were written, anti-India slogans are written, or anti-India things are written. Here it is written, Mr. Dear Uncle, how are you? Hoping this letter of mine will boost the energy and spend to live the king. As it was in the past, the relation between man and mankind depends upon the nature of your thought. The way we mold the mind, we get the expected results. I don't think that in this contents there is any anti-India things are written here, friends. But once this letter was brought by some investigation officer for examination, friends, I'm thankful to that investigation officer. He was allowing suspicious of this letter. I found that, see in between the lines, friends, it was written that Robert reaching in Delhi IG airport in flight number this. Now the message is very specific. I made a sample of it, friends, because this matter is very tedious. Keep in touch on August 2000 through mobile. Give code number, exchange code number, exchange the gold biscuits, exchange the box with gold biscuits in hotel at Meridian. Now the information is very specific. In room number 705, the value of heroin is 4.5 crores. So he has to change the gold with the heroin. Both are very lethal combination, friends. Once you have to destroy a country, you take out the gold. Once you have to destroy the youth, you give this brown sugar. So both are very dangerous combinations. I'm lucky that I'm thankful to that fellow even in this piece of paper, at least we save few lives. So this is a little bit of a document examination, friends, because you are lagging. We have considered the time, and I was told that we will only get for 100, sorry, 1 hour and not more than 1 hour. So, ma'am, please, I hand over mic to you to say if there is any question.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Hello, Nandini.
Yeah. Uh, Thank
Anurag,
you so
sir.
much, sir, for nice presentation on question document. I think that sir has mentioned all the rarest cases he had ever encountered with. Secret writing case is really interesting. That how culprits uh, convey messages from one place to another place. Uh, we have some uh, further. I will request Dr. Handa sir to kindly uh, stop sharing screen.
Okay. Okay. Stop sharing.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So, all the participants are now requested to share any question if they want to know answer from this, my speaker. Sir, we have got some questions over live streaming. Should I ask? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir. One participant has asked that he has recently completed his certification in forensic document examination, and he just wanted to know how he can use this certificate in his office, and also how he can start private practice in this field.
So basically, these are the core issues wherein I used to say many times that I take few minutes, few seconds for that. Once I joined in CFSL, we were 150, 180, sorry. We reduced to 45. And CBA was only 3,000, they increased to multiple, say 30, 40,000. So all was happening because of lack of interest by ABC persons. I don't know. We are reduced to 45 now, although we have to increase to say multiple of 180. So only thing is that once we are having a, at that time we don't have say institutions like you, your institution and other institutions which study this forensic science courses by other fellows. Since that fellow is from my field, I request that fellow to take a intensive training from any recognized expert. And after taking an intensive training, you have a mock code, you have a direct interaction with the other experts, and then you start your say examination or handwriting and practicing in the court of law. Because huge money is there. You make a group, and because this is the only field where this field pays after retirement also.
Sir, the next question is, can we reconstruct a spoiled and laminated document to its original state? If possible, through which technique?
See, it again depends how much heat was given to that temperature to get it fixed to a lamination. If a temperature was fixed to 100 degrees centigrade or more than 100 degrees centigrade, we are having little bit of a knowledge as a person who was fixing these temperatures to get it out of that lamination. But definitely, if you are having a temperature which is more than 100, 150 degrees centigrade, it is difficult to get it used as a original document.
Sir, another question is from advocate participant. He just want to know what is relevancy of document evidence.
See, basically, it is called the corroborative evidence in the court of laws. But I'll put it like that: if there is a dispute of a property, if there is a dispute of a property, and there is only evidence which is left with the signature examination, so court has no option but to accept the report of a document expert. And there are so many citations that the only report of a document expert. There was no other reports. There was only report of a document expert, which court has accepted.
Okay. Sir, the next question is, what is relevancy of linguistic analysis?
See, I used to say that as an expert and as a academician and as a having a little book knowledge. Book says that the language doesn't play any role in examination. But I say that this science is a science of a study of a variations. Once you don't know the variations in the Gurmukhi, or you don't know the variation in the Latin and Punjabi or by French, you cannot give opinion. So there's a limitation. Although practically, theoretically, it is possible. The book says, but it is not possible as an expert. Yes. 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 Yes or not?
So, yes, sir. Next question is, can we know a person's character through his handwriting?
Basically, this is not related to document expert, but definitely this is science is called the graphology. I studied few books of the graphology. You can say to 60-70% you can study the characters, but definitely I'll say that if a person is ornamentally writing, so he may be a beautiful, he may be a good character person, but while going through this graphology, it is not sure that whether he is good or otherwise. The doctor's handwriting is basically the episode writing, but they are having they are basically called the highly educated people. So if you write from low to higher stage, means you are writing to a stunted manner. So you are basically, as told by the graphologist. So
There is always curiosity on graphology, that whether it is
basically, a handwriting expert and graphology are the two different things. But the person makes mistakes many times. Maybe he is having absence of minds. So little bit knowledge of graphology, but doesn't have any relation with the document experts.
Sir, next question is, how can the age of document help in evidence in court?
It is basically the burning issue across the world. I cannot say that even nobody can say that the age can be deciphered or tell the exact age. But definitely the era can say. As I given you an example, I took say 5-6 minutes for that. We can see the paper, we can see the ink. Suppose somebody has written something on a paper with the pilot pen or with the gel pen. So gel pen came in existence in 1999 and the paper is of in 1998. So that document is basically a forged document because it has not been executed before 1999. Even in the case of a relative age, even in the case we are having a limitations, there is no laboratory which is having a good instrument which is called Raman spectra with all the lengths. The spectrophotometer doesn't work in that. No concrete evidence is there from the spectrophotometer in the case of a relative. I made a research in 1980s wherein we use a contact method to study the relative age also. And that method is a foolproof method. We can discuss it later. Yes.
Sir, next question is, what is difference between pen lift and pen patching?
There are, these are the general characters basically, pen lifting and pen patching. Pen lifting means you are stopping the pen and again putting it on the surface of a paper. Patching means you have to put an additional stroke in between the signature or writing to make it patches.
Okay, sir. And sir, due to time constraint, we'll take only last question, which is quite interesting. Sir, can you suggest us steps to prevent chances of document forgery?
Friends, basically this was my issue, and I'll say that I used to execute 4 types of my signatures. 4 types of my signature. Nobody in this earth can type 4 types of signatures. I always say, you keep on writing your signature without lifting your pen. Simpler your signature. Simpler your signature is difficult to forge. If my name is Ashok Kumar, put all the letters in my signature A, S, H, O, K, and make a curve in between that. So, and not lift the pen, even a single, and put all the letters which connection combinations are clearly visible. So, simpler your signature with all the combination characters and no lifting of pen is your correction.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for embracing us with your enlightening words. Now, I would request Dr. M.P. Gautam sir, Professor, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, to conclude the session through his remark. Sir, over to you.
Okay, thank you. My voice is reaching to you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Your voice is.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Handa. And I am very happy that he has mentioned that he belongs to a very reputed and prestigious CFSL, CBI, New Delhi. I was also fortunate enough to join this laboratory in 80s when Dr. Bami was the director and Dr. G.R. Prasad was the um,
Head of ballistics.
in charge in the ballistic, and Mr. Roop Singh was there also.
Yeah, Roop Singh
Narayan Swami was holding the
chemistry head. Yes.
Okay.
He was there
So,
in the chemistry. They were the pioneers at that time, sir.
Oh, okay. So actually, you have very correctly said about the successful development of the document examination. It is, and very nicely you have denied that what type cannot be done, what type of opinion we cannot do. Okay. Being a document expert of the CBI laboratory label, you know the limitations of our work.
Definitely.
As far as you have mentioned about the chart document, I think you will agree it is a very difficult thing to get the examined. In this regard, I consulted in about 85 or 84 Dr. Hilton.
Dr. Hilton.
Hilton.
Achha.
Hilton. Hilton, Hilton.
Hilton, who was the author of the books, I think.
Oh, yes. He's a very reputed
author of the book.
So he has also mentioned about this difficulties regarding the chart document, because I had one case to solve this, check this chart document. But you have very nicely given the classification with reference to the temperature. Really, this was not known to me, because I was in the chemistry, so I was not much more involved in this thing. But you have very nicely given the different variations in the temperature and its limitation. So actually, you have recollected my memories when I was having this our valuable time to work in this CBT laboratory, and your suggestions regarding the services and the methodology and its significance with reference to the expert opinion is very valuable to our students. So nice meeting with you, and I'm thankful to Dr. Kavita Sharma, Anurag Srivastava, who has given me this chance to meet you personally.
You are always with us, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words.
Thank you
I would
very
like
much.
to call Mr. Anurag Srivastava, coordinator webinar, to kindly propose vote of thanks. Sir?
Yes. Albert Sherman Osborne, we popularly know as A.S. Osborne. He is pioneer in document examination, has said that mind sees, mind hear, all the things are deaf and dumb. He further also say that every question document is a research problem. So let your research mind keep working as you receive any document case. I, Anurag Srivastava, coordinator, national webinar on the behalf of the Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, feel privileged to express my deepest regards to all of you. First and foremost, with great pleasure and reverence, I express my deep sense of gratitude to our speaker, D.R. Handa sir, for sparing time out of his busy schedule and embracing us. On this occasion, I owe a sincere debt of gratitude to Dr. Anand Rajawat, Director SVIIT, in his absentia, for his wholehearted support in organizing this webinar. I would also like to thank Dr. M.P. Gautam sir, Senior Professor of Sri Western Institute of Forensic Science, for his encouragement and support and for gracing this webinar with his presence. In this series, I would like to thank Mr. Alok Malviya sir and Srikant sir, Sadab sir for their continuous efforts to make this webinar success. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Kavita Sarma Madam, Coordinator, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science, and convener of today's webinar, for providing me this opportunity and gracing, guiding me at every place of time. I am grateful for that and would like to thank you, ma'am, for encouraging me for creative works every time.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Sir,
of course, my co-coordinator of this webinar, Mr. Nirvad Ingole sir, for all his supports from beginning to the end. I would also like to thank all our participants from various academia, industries, laboratories across the nation and abroad for sparing their valuable time and gracing our event with their virtual presence. Not Last but not least, I must confess that the completion of this work would have been impossible without support of our technical committee, student volunteers, and teaching and non-teaching staff of Sri Vaishnav Institute of Forensic Science. Above all, I would like to thank my Almighty God for showering His blessings upon us. Thank you once again. Have a great day.
thank you, Handa sir. Thank you, Gautam sir. Before we close, I would like to share that as we all know that COVID-19 is spreading very fast, not only in Indore, but also it is spreading everywhere. So, through this platform, from Sri Vaishnav Vidyapit Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, I request all the participants and my dear students that please follow all the guidelines given by the government. Please maintain social distancing. Friends, do you know why this COVID-19 is spreading so fast? When I was reading some message on social media in the morning, I have seen one message. Some of you may know that there are three major reasons why COVID-19 is spreading so fast. So I would like to share all this because we must take care for all of these three. So first is everybody is thinking that they are sick, so I can spread, I can talk, I can speak without mask. Every one of us is thinking like this, that they are my colleagues, so I can speak without mask. Second reason is they are my close friends, so I can speak without mask. Is it like that? And the third reason is they are my relatives, so I can speak without mask. So everybody is doing this mistake. So I request through this platform that don't do these three mistakes. Wear your mask properly, always save yourself and save society. Please take care. Please maintain social distancing and stay indoor, stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam, for nice suggestions. And further, all the participants are requested to check WhatsApp group and your email for feedback form. Due to technical glitch, we are not able to share the feedback form here on Zoom, but it is available over YouTube Live and WhatsApp group emails. If still you have any query or any issue, feel free to email us, WhatsApp us. We will try our best to resolve your all issues. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So should I close?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.